There's the ones that are saying, oh, I'm just driving to point A, picking up people and dropping them off at point B and making $10,000. We've got to make those people scared to death to get involved and do the logistics for the human traffickers. We've got to increase the penalties.
I'm a conservative, so I stand on the principle that people have the right to do what they want so long as they're not harming others. And I'll stand up for that principle even for my enemies, and I have done so. And I spent time in a military jail for it. So I put my money where my mouth is. When all these leftists come out and call me homophobic and stuff, I just say, hey, have you gone to jail for your beliefs? Have you gone to jail? So for fairness for gay people, then shut the hell up.
That's fair.
You have no right saying that to me. This isn't about that. This is about protecting children.
I want to get Brian's opinion. So, Brian, are you worried about the attacks that you're going to face? Because you know you're going to go on CNN. You know what they're going to say. Oh, you're the Texas guy. You're the anti-gay. You want to shut it down. You want to, reverse gay marriage. That's what they're talking about.
Well, you can't worry about attacks. If you learn history, you learn there's a lot of good people that went through some attacks and went to jail.
That's right.
There's a lot of good people that suffered those things. So you can't worry about what they do. The thing I've been starting to point out to people is you take the Women Live movement, right? They went on to say, women are not just objects of sex, and they're trying to, their whole movement and trying to act like that's all people thought about women. But you look at the drag movement, right? What it is. It only takes the sexual aspect of women, puts it on display with their dancing, dressing, and everything. Yeah. And that is all that's on display for these children. There's not a quality in the drag that glorifies, amplifies, highlights a woman's intelligence, their worth, their value. It's only about sexual.
No.
And they think that is okay to have around children. And then you mix that with human trafficking. Mm-hmm. We have a problem with human trafficking. A big portion of human trafficking involves people wanting to have sex with children. And so, like I say, I'm not trying to say all drags are with pedophilia. What I'm saying is we got a problem with people wanting to have sex with children. That's a horrible thing, and human trafficking. And then you got the people engaged in that, which is evil and wrong. Then you got the drag element trying to make people comfortable, make kids comfortable with the idea with this sexualization. It's only helping promote it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what we've got to stop is making them comfortable. And I'll mention this 22 years ago, when I was in seminary in Fort Worth, they would, say, hey, don't say anything. This is about two people in their own bedroom behind closed doors.
When you're a pastor, you're saying don't say anything about gay people.
Yeah, that was the leadership in the church back then when I was a young man is, we don't want to say anything. This is just about two people behind closed doors. Of course, we think it's all, wrong or this or that. But they didn't want us to stand up and say anything. And then you look at NAMBLA, North American Man-Boy Love Association. Yes. Their goal was to normalize adult men and young boys' relationships in public.
Yes.
They have moved us to the doorstep of that way more than we have protected a Christian family value. I mean, they've
had massive legislative success in California.
Absolutely.
Guys,
massive.
I mean, this shouldn't be a surprise. You look at people like Prince Andrew, that's the Queen's son. I mean, we know that, he's with the Virginia Giuffre, or I don't even know how to pronounce her last name, but she's underage. You look at Jeffrey Epstein, he's a convicted pedophile. You look at, Bill Clinton is on the Lolita Express 26 times with no Secret Service. You also got to look at Dennis Hastert, who's Speaker of the House, who was also convicted of, of being a pedophile. So there's a lot of people in high, powerful position. Anthony Weiner, married to Huma Abedin, who's, Hillary Clinton's right-hand woman or whatever you want to say. So there are people in high positions that are convicted of this. So this isn't some sort of tinfoil hat conspiracy. So this is actually being protected by people that are higher up. And you're right. When you talk about the sex trafficking, that's what makes me so sick about the border. I mean, we can talk all day long about the terrible fentanyl and overdose deaths. America has 108,000 drug overdose deaths, the most in history. But the sex trafficking. So what are you going to do in the House to actually, try to rectify the sex trafficking, in your opinion, Brian?
Well, I believe the first thing we do, I think the easiest thing to do is to identify all the cartels as narco-terrorist organizations. Okay. That opens up higher prosecution, maybe more assets and everything to...
The cartels probably fund all the politicians, but go ahead. Sorry. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised.
So, yeah, because if you actually treated them like a January 6er, it'd probably stop a lot of the stuff.
Exactly.
Real.
Exactly. And then there's other things I think we need to consider. I saw in Alabama or somewhere, they had passed a bill where someone who was on death row could choose to get death by firing squad recently. Yeah. Did you see that? And I think we need to add, something like that. And we get them as a narco-terrorist organization. Then we amp up the penalties. And here's why. You're probably not going to do much to change the cartel member's mind. You're just not going to do that.
No way.
But it's all these fair weather criminals, the people that, I shouldn't call them this, but I'm calling them this right now. Fair weather, or not fair weather, Uber driver, glorified Uber drivers, the ones that are saying, oh, I'm just driving to point A, picking up people and dropping them off at point B and making $10,000. We've got to make those people scared to death to get involved and do the logistics for the human traffickers. We've got to increase the penalties. I mean, a lot of talk's going on about bail reform. And a lot of times, some people look at bail reform like, oh, well, you're basically just letting people out. There's not really a change of heart, change in behavior in the people. And so I think we need to do things to make sure anybody involved with human trafficking, and I'm talking these hotels, the girl that was kidnapped from the Dallas Maverick game, you know, she was bought and sold 3 times.
Yeah.
And they raided the hotel she was in and didn't know she was in 2 rooms down, and they had to come back another day or two, and then they got her. And that was because the hotel desk clerk, whenever the police came, only told them the 1 room. She knew the whole time there was 4 rooms full of young girls. So we've got to do something to go after anybody involved helping promote human trafficking.
You're 100% right, but we got to take a break.
If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to our channel so you'll be sure to see similar videos from Blaze TV with the added bonus of signaling YouTube that your voice and opinion still matters. And if you're looking for more great conservative content, check out one of the 2 videos suggested here. And let's go.